day, everyone. Today, we will discuss about Introduction to Statistics. Of course, it is prepared by Teacher Hill and Ted. So before we start, do not forget to share this video, like this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. First, let us define statistics. Statistics is the science of collecting, organizing, interpreting, and analyzing data. It is very important because it has many applications in the society. Statistics aids in decision making. So this includes the following purposes. So mahalaga talaga na alam natin kung paano ginagamit ang statistics kasi makakatulong ito sa pagde-decide sa ating mga research or situational statement. So these are the purposes. First, it allows comparison of quantity. So pag meron na kayong data, ibig sabihin na-collect nyo na-organize nyo na-interpret nyo na-analyze na. So magkakaroon kayo ng comparison ngayon. So you can say this is this research, the data increased or we can say decreased between two different years. So ganun yung comparison sa statistics. Now, for number 2, it provides estimation of unknown quantities. So, dito nga, katulad ng sa Pilipinas, kung sa statistics, na i-record yung mga bagyo, kung anong buwan dumadating. So, nagkakaroon ng estimation na, itong month na to, or itong year na to, alam na kung ilan or kung kailan darating yung mga bagyo. That's why it is an estimation kung ano ang mangyayari. O kaya naman, sa isang lugar, merong estimated number of household with television. So, kung kalapit nila ay ganun din ang sitwasyon na area, so may estimate na kung gaano din kadami yung household na may television. Next, we have number 3. It gives explanation to actions that has taken place. Yan. So, mahalaga din ang statistics kasi yung result nun, yun yung nag-e-explain kung bakit mayroong ganoon. We have here the definition of data. Kasi kanina pa tayo sinasabi that statistics is the science of collecting, organizing, interpreting, and analyzing data. So ano ba itong data na sinasabi natin? Data are units of information, often numeric. So kalimitan numeric yung data. Recorded and used for the purpose of analysis. Now, sa ating statistics, meron tayong mga problem statements. So, meron tayong situations, gagawan natin ng questions. At yung mga questions na yon, yun yung sinasabi natin na problem statements. So, say for example, ang ating topic is about household commodities. So, meron tayo ditong supply of rice and food items, transportation allowance, and medicine. So, ano kaya yung pwede nating maging problem statements or statement of the problem? So, we can have which of the items above is the most essential among many households in Laguna. So, this will be the problem statements for this particular topic, household commodities. Okay, so ganun yung paggawa ng problem statements. It is related to our survey topic. Next, so if our topic is modular and online modes of learning, so ano kaya yung pwede nating maging problem statements? So pwede nating maging ganito. In your class section, how many students are taking the modular modality of learning? How many are studying online? Are all your classmates have internet access at home? So itong tatlong questions na to ay pwedeng maging problem statements for this particular topic about modular and online modes of learning. Okay, so ganun yung paggawa ng problem statements related sa survey topic. Next, how about if it is COVID-19 vaccination? So this will be the kind of problem statements we have. In your barangay, how many residents are willing to be vaccinated against COVID-19? Or we can have it as how many are not willing to be vaccinated? And what are the reasons why some do not want to be vaccinated? So these are the problem statements that we can relate to the topic COVID-19 vaccination. So dapat pag gagawa tayo ng problem statements, related siya dun sa survey topic natin. Okay? Now, how can statistics solve problems? So, ito na yung question. Paano ba tayo matutulungan ng statistics? Okay, let's set this situation. So, academic performance of Lando, a grade 7 student, would like to know if his academic performance improved from first quarter to second quarter. So, he decided to ask his advisor to show him his report card. So, what will be the problems with regards to this situation? That the student want to know if he performed better in second quarter from the first quarter. So, of course, we have to get the result of his grade in quarter 1 and in quarter 2. Okay, so this will be the statement of the problem. So, did Lando perform with improvement in the second quarter? What data on the report card will prove that Lando performed better? And number 3, what is the purpose of the grade average? So ito yung mga problem statement natin na sasagutin during the research. Okay, so ano ba yung mga pwedeng maging sagot dito? Based on the given report card of his advisor. Of course, meron tayong question dito, problem statement that we have here, the purpose of the grade average. So, we need to answer all of these 3 questions so that we can solve the situation number 1. So, grade average serves as the numerical equivalent of your total performance for the quarter. In this case, Lando got 96% in the second quarter, which is higher than that of the first quarter grade average of 93%. This means Lando performed better in the second quarter. So this will be the answer for the problem that Lando want to know if he improved or not in the second quarter. Now, let us have situation number 2. So, paano kaya makakatulong yung statistics dito? So, weather reports, Melinda and her high school. So, this is all about weather reports. And then the situation will be Melinda and her high school friends will attend a 3-day field trip to Manila. As they are planning for the field trip, Melinda would like to know if the weather will be fair for the next 3 days. So, she decided to watch the local weather news. So, say for example, taga San Pablo, Laguna siya. Okay, so titignan natin yung 3 successive days kung ano yung weather or condition ng weather for 3 days. So, this will be the statement of the problem or problem statement na kailangan masagot based dun sa data na nakuha niya for watching the local weather news. So, number 1, if the 3-day trip will start on Friday, how will you describe the upcoming weather? So, what does 40% chance of precipitation for the next 3 days mean? And number 3, is it important to know the weather conditions during outdoor activities? So, these are all the problem statements given in situation number 2. That will statistics will help you decide whether you will go on with your field trip or not, or should you bring umbrella or raincoat. So this will be the result of the given situation based on the data that she gathered from the local weather news. So, chance of precipitation is a data that is important in weather reports. So, it is expressed in A 40% chance of rain means that there is a relatively average possibility that there will be rain showers for the next 3 days. So with this data, Melinda may decide if she needs to bring an umbrella or raincoat, or she may decide to cancel the trip since it will possibly be rainy outside and they may not be able to enjoy the outdoor viewing. So this results answers all the problem statement given in the situation. That will help Melinda to decide whether they will go on with the trip or not. Okay? So, tatandaan na kapag nagsulat kayo ng result from the given problem statement, so lahat ng questions dito ay kailangan nyong masagot. So, hindi naman sinabi na it depends on the arrangement of the question. So, since in question number 3, mahalaga na ma-introduce muna natin kung ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng precipitations, and it explains here in statement problem number 3. Okay? Now, what are functions or uses of statistics? So we have here letter A, statistics helps in providing a better understanding and exact description of a phenomenon of nature. So katulad nga nung situation 1 at situation 2 na example natin. So nagpo-provide siya ng better understanding about the situation. Letter B, statistics helps in proper and efficient planning of a statistical inquiry in any field of study. Okay, so nakakatulong yan kahit sa ang field pa yan, kung yan ay sa medicine, sa education, sa sports, okay, sa economics and business. So nakakatulong yung statistics para maging efficient yung pagpaplano kung alin ba yung, let's say, sa economics or business, alin ba yung magandang products na gawin, or alin ba yung mabenta, alin ba yung mabili, appealing sa mga tao. Okay? So, dyan nakakatulong yung statistics. Letter C, statistics helps in collecting appropriate quantitative data. So, nakakatulong talaga ang statistics sa pagkuha ng mga tamang bilang ng mga data. Okay, letter D, statistics helps in presenting complex data in a suitable tabular and graphic form for an easy and clear comprehension of the data. So itong letter D, nakakatulong talaga yung statistics kasi sa statistics, inaaral din kung paano magawa ng table, ng graph, okay, para i-represent yung isang data at para mas daling maintindihan kung ano yung sinasabi ng data. Kasi unang tingin mo pa lang sa isang graph, alam mo na kung alin yung bigger in number or ano yung smaller in number. And last, we have here, statistics helps in drawing valid inferences along with the measure of their reliability about the population parameters from the sample data. So ito, nakakatulong din yung statistics para sulat tayo ng mga tamang inferences. Katulad nga nung sa situation number 1, yung sa grades ni Lando. So, since yung statements doon ay nagsasabi na mas tumaas yung average niya ng quarter 2 sa quarter 1, so yun na yung valid inferences na sinasabi. And of course, kailangan maging valid siya. Pag-aaralan din sa statistics kung paano kumuha ng number of population from the sample data. Okay? Now, statistics can be applied generally. It is essential tool in the following fields. So, let's have education. So, statistical tools are used to get information regarding enrollment, finance, physical facilities of the school, okay, in particular. So, that's how statistics help in education. Now, for the government, so used to provide the necessary data to guide them in managing the affairs of the government. Next, for the medicine, so methods of statistical design of experiments are valuable to researchers. Okay, so, syempre, katulad nga ng mga vaccines na yan. So, nire-research pa yan through experiments. At kailangan, since medicine yan, may kinalaman sa health. So, dapat napakaliit na index of errors ang meron sila dapat sa experiments na yan. At dapat 100% sure yung kanilang research. Now, we also have it in psychology. So, people are best understood when evaluated to be able to systematize, analyze, and interpret data on intelligence scores, aptitude, personality trait, ratings, and attitudes. So, ayan. So, through this result on the data analysis, so, maibibigay ng tamang solusyon kung ano yung meron sa isang data, yung tamang analysis. So, it includes in the psychology. Now, into sports. So, statistics highly determines the performance of a player, and statistics is an essential factor for sports investment. So, ayan. Through statistics, nalalaman yung kung nagpe-perform ba ng maayos or better yung isang player. Paano yon? Let's say basketball. So, nalalaman kung ilan yung free throws, kung ilan yung percent na free throws na na-shoot niya. Ilan yung kanyang rebound, ilan yung kanyang assist, no? Yun yung mga statistics sa sports, lalo na sa basketball. At kung mataas yung analyzation ng mga essential factors sa sports, so saan ka mag-i-invest? So titignan mo muna yung kanilang statistics. Now, for business and economics, ito yung maganda dito. It means of exploration of the new markets for a product, forecasting business trends, quality of goods produced. So, doon nakakatulong yung statistics with regards to the field of business and economics. Okay? Now, ngayon, sinasabi natin, paano ba natin makakapag-decide sa isang problem statement? Ano yung inferences natin, yung result para makatulong yung statistics sa situation natin? So, una muna, kailangan, how can we get the needed data? So, paano ba tayo nakakakuha ng mga data na yan? Okay? So, through statistical instrument. So, ano ba itong sinasabi nating statistical instrument? So, this is a tool that researchers use to collect needed data. So, examples of instruments are survey, questionnaire. So, pwede rin namang interview, pwede rin naman through magazines to collect data. Now, kapag ang kinuha natin or ginamit natin na statistical instrument ay survey questionnaires, so ganito yung paggawa ng survey questionnaires. So, meron tayong 3 parts: introduction, profile of respondents, questions to answer. So, ano ba yung dapat na ilagay natin sa introduction? So, introduction, this gives the respondents the survey topic or what the survey is all about. So, dapat dyan naka-indicate sa introduction kung ano yung tungkol sa survey mo at kung ano yung topic and what to do with the survey. So, pag ibig sabihin nun, dapat nakalagay din sa introduction kung ano yung directions or instructions na gagawin dun sa survey questionnaires. And of course, huwag kakalimutan yung word na thank you para mag-participate yung taong bibigyan natin ng survey questionnaire. So, katulad nito, halimbawa, good day. This is a survey on the health conditions of our children, ages 3 to 10 years old in our barangay. So, ito yung survey topic natin. So, dapat included siya dyan. Then, kindly answer the following questions. So, ito yung instruction or direction. So, dapat tatandaan na kasama yon. And then, the word thank you. Now, for the second part of the survey questionnaire, we have the profile of the respondent. So, ano naman tong profile of respondent? So, this part 1 of the survey asks the respondents certain important personal details, some of which can be optional. So, that is, the respondent is allowed not to give the particular information such as name. So, yan. Palagi kung makikita ninyo pag magsasagot kayo ng survey questionnaires, ang name ay optional. So, whether pwede nilang ilagay yon o hindi. Then we have the sex. So, ang sex naman, male or female lang. And then we have the age. So, kung ano yung needed na personal profile dun sa ating survey topic. Okay? So, naintindihan yung profile of respondents. Now, questions to answer. Ito na yung part 2 ng ating survey questionnaire. So, ano ba yung laman ng part 2 ng questions to answer? So, the questions should be, take note, The question should be relevant and should ask for information that will answer the survey topic. So sa ating example, since ang survey topic natin ay health conditions of our children ages 3 to 10 years old in our barangay. So first question is, how many children are there in your household? So mahalagang malaman kung ilan yung mga bata sa isang household. Number 2, how many of these children have had a fever for the past 2 weeks? Since we are talking about health conditions, so magtatanong kayo, maglalagay kayo dito ng problem statement na tatanong tungkol sa health conditions. So tinatanong nga kung may fever na for the past 2 weeks. So yung latest questions. And then sa number 3, do these children take in what to take in? So, tinatanong dito kung ano ba, kung iniinom ba yung mga vitamins or gamot na ibinibigay. So, meron dito, i-check lang daw, daily, once a week, or no vitamins at all. So, ito yung questions na dapat nating ilagay, depende dun sa ating survey topic. At ang questions natin, pwedeng open-ended or close-ended questions. So, open format or closed format questions. So, ano ba itong sinasabi natin na open format or closed format questions? So, these are the types of questions. So, we have the closed format question. So, closed format question is a question whose response is restricted and predefined for the respondents to choose from, like multiple choice, an alternative response such as true or false, yes or no, agree or disagree. So, ito yung mga questions na pumipili lang tayo ng sagot. Tapos, kung true or false lang yung sagot natin, kung yes or no, or kung agree ka or disagree. So, that's the closed format question. Kaya sinabing predefined kasi may pagpipilian ka na. Restricted. Yun lang. Kung ano lang yun nandun sa pagpipilian mo. And then yung open format question is a question whose response is not limited. It elicits a thorough answer or explanation. So, ibig sabihin, not limited. Hindi lang letter A, letter B, letter C. Hindi lang true or false. Hindi lang yes or no. Hindi lang agree or disagree. May hinihingi yung explanations. Yung thorough answer or explanations na walang choices. Okay? Now, statistical instruments should be reliable and valid. So, reliability of an instrument means that it always gathers the relevant data that it intended to, while the validity of an instrument means that it gathers accurate data. Kaya tayo, pag pinagawa tayo ng statistical instrument, hindi common nakagawa na tayo, ay okay na yon. Pwede na nating pasagutan sa ating mga respondents. So, respondents ang tawag dun sa mga taong involved na nagsasagot ng ating survey questionnaire. So, hindi agad yun pinasasagutan. Ipapa-validate pa natin yon at saka yung reliability niya ay kung tama ba. So, ipapa-evaluate muna natin yon sa ating teacher, o kaya sa ating mga kapwa estudyante para maging reliable at saka valid yung ating statistical instrument. So, I hope na meron kayong naintindihan dito sa ating lesson sa paggawa ng statistical instrument at ang use ng mga statistics. So, huwag kakalimutan mag-subscribe sa aming YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and God bless.